Hey guys, I just wanted to really quickly share something with you. Ms. Martinez and Mr. Gee and I were talking in our Algebra 2 PLC yesterday about really wishing that we had one place where all of the really important basic information for each of our classes could be. Um, Syllabus, the course calendar, links to websites that we use, so on and so forth. Um, and so we discussed the fact that we could link all of those things as material in our Google Classroom. And if you go to the coursework tab in Google Classroom, anything and everything that you create as material will always be pinned to the top of the coursework above all of your topics up there. Um, but that basically only solved the problem of making sure that students could always access it. And we did feel like it was important that parents could also refer back to these different things as well. So then we talked a little bit about Ms. Martinez and I had talked about Bitmoji classrooms earlier in the summer, and we actually had sort of played around with those and had created those for ourselves with the intention of doing that sort of thing with them. Um, but I had become frustrated with my Bitmoji classroom just because of the types of things that I could get linked to it, and really more so the way that those things opened up when I clicked on them in the Bitmoji classroom. So I really kind of wanted to avoid that if I could as well. So then we hit upon the idea of having our own like class website. Um, so Google Sites came to mind, and none of us had really ever done a whole lot with Google Sites. All of the stuff that we did last year with students and their ILPs, those sites had already been created for them. We really didn't know how much work went on the front end to get those sites created or get those published or whatever. So we really sort of kind of eyed that sideways and thought, oh goodness, that's going to be an awful lot of work. Um, but I went ahead and kind of took a look at Google Sites last night and really started playing around with them. And I discovered that creating a Google site is actually really disturbingly easy. Um, it really is. It's a plug and play experience. You can put anything into a Google site, just about anything into a Google site that you want to put in there. You can make it as fancy as you want, or you can make it as simple as you want, and none of it is difficult. So, just want to take you on a little bit of a tour of my class site as I've started to build it. It by no means is it finished. It's just had a few things kind of thrown in there. Um, but that's neither here nor there. This is my home page. This is where you actually get started and when you get into the website. First thing on here, we have a welcome back video that I created with Screencastify for mostly for my parents so that they can have their questions about school supplies that their kid might need answered. I also talked about our bring your own device policy and the amount of technology that we're going to be using this year, even when we are in person classes, and how it would be helpful for their student if they happen to have a Chromebook or an Apple device to actually bring it to school with them. Talked about the kinds of calculators we use. Talked about contact information, just the general basics of things that I really wanted parents to know. Then down here at the bottom of that page, I have a link for them to click on to fill out some information for me, just kind of give me their contact information, as well as their child's cell phone number. Let me know if I can text them at their cell phone number. And then the question about internet access. I know we'll be collecting that information, but it's also kind of helpful to for me to have that information kind of ahead of time as well. So those things are on there. Then when you get farther into the site, the next thing I have linked would be links to my syllabus for each one of my classes. This is the Algebra 1 one. Now, I will tell you, I am far from finished creating my syllabus because, like most of you, I'm still waiting on some questions to be answered about things like grading policy and whatnot before I really feel confident in creating one. But what I did do was instead of just uploading a Google Doc here. What I chose to do was to create my syllabus also in a Google site. It's a little bit more aesthetically pleasing, and it also kind of breaks the syllabus into pieces, sort of as we discuss it with our students. We don't just say, "Here's the syllabus, read it, sign the thing, move on with your life." We go through it in pieces. Now, the only thing that I've gotten in my syllabi so far is, like, just this little front page here, and then also contact information. That's all I've gotten into it so far. But I'll create all those other sections on there, plagiarism policy, whatever policies, you might wanna attach in there, all that stuff will go in there, and then I will also take all of this information that I put in here, and I will create a Google Doc with it, and I'll link that Google Doc down here for those people who wanna have something that would be a printable version of the syllabus. Um, then let's see. Then the other part would be, let's see, course calendars. Now, I've not really come up with a way to do this very pretty yet. Um, so this is just a Google Doc that I have linked here, and the only thing I've put on there is first day of school. We're going to be doing introductory activities, setting up accounts, getting that sort of thing done. And you better believe they're going to get a grade for setting up their account properly. I want it that bad. I want it done that badly. Um, so that's there as well. Also in the math department, we use a couple of websites. Now, personally, Khan Academy, I use that more as a remediation thing. If there's a skill that I know that a kid has not mastered that kind of leads up to the skills that we're using, I'll say, okay, I want you to go and watch this video and try a few of these practice problems and see, if that kind of helps you out with this. But Delta Math we use extensively. So I was able to link Delta Math here so that it will just open up right here inside of my website. Now, obviously, if students want to use, to go just straight to the Delta Math website, they can do that. But it's convenient to have it right here, and it also gives parents a way to get to it. So when their kids are telling them, "Well, I don't know how to get to Delta Math," parents can pull this up and say, "Well, last time I checked, you can click right here to get there." Yes, I actually had students that tried that on their parents or actually on a grandparent during NTI. The only thing I haven't put on here yet that I think I probably am going to, is another, and this will probably be a Google slide with links to some different tutorials on things, the things that the kids forget how to do, like how to scan a document and attach it to Google Classroom in order to turn in an assignment. Just simple stuff like that. Um, how to navigate through Google Classroom. Just those things that people forget how to do. So that's like the one last thing that I'm going to put on there. But I did want to go ahead and share this with you all. And again, rather than, yeah, I am going to put this as material at the top of the course links, at the top of the coursework tab in my Google Classroom, but it would also be something that could be attached to the school website. It would be something that I could send out in a remind to parents, the link to this where they could just check it out from there. It would be something you could generate a QR code so somebody could just scan it on the outside of your classroom. Um, there are a lot of different ways that we can get parents access to this as well. So, if you have questions on how to set one of these things up, like I said, it is disturbingly simple and it's something that you'll be able to pick up really, really quickly. But I'll be glad to answer any questions for you. And as always, I'm looking forward to seeing you guys soon.